fear, not coming from love.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Reflections. So it's Peter here from Strong Healthy Women, and I am joined by the lovely Sally Ann. Hey, Sal, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I was actually just noticed you're all rugged up there and I'm in a t-shirt.
We're literally 10
How is
minutes
that?
away from
Yeah, I
each other.
know. Well, I do feel a little bit cooler, but I have just finished recording the last of the videos for the August workouts.
Oh, good.
So
That's why.
so I was a little bit warm, and so I thought, oh well, I've got my shirt on, I might as well just jump on, and so here we are. So this week's topic in Talking Wellbeing TV has been, listening to your body and what it tells you. And when we talk about body, we're not just talking about, the physical body itself. We're also talking about your mind, because I think the mind really is such a big controlling factor of what we do and how we react to things. And so when that mind is in a place that is not nurturing or healing towards the body, then the body can end up in all sorts of turmoil. And so do you want to talk to us a little bit about just how your mind sometimes plays out for you, and takes you in a different direction as to what so you might go, for example, okay, it's Monday tomorrow, I'm going to start exercising. And I know that you've had this experience. I'm going to start exercising because I want that healthy body. And then Monday comes around and all day comes and goes and you don't exercise. So what's happening in your mind right then?
It can be a number of things. And see, it can be either my inner thoughts or it can be what is affecting me externally.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, so if it's something that, is I'm worrying about something or I'm stressed about something, I could
Yep.
literally sit there, as I talked about during the week, for 4 hours and just, I might have the TV on or I might be listening to music or whatever, but I will just sit there and think and think and think and think and think. I'm not solving anything, I'm just thinking. So therefore, I'm not doing anything around me to help me with that thinking. The other thing that can happen too is what's happening externally, that I don't then focus on myself. I'm thinking, okay, well, I have to go and get this done, so I'll get that done first, and then I'll go and do this. And then I get that done, and then I'll go, oh, okay, this still needs to be done, so I'll go over and I'll do this little bit, then I'll get that done. So it's not doing this first or doing my workout first or focusing on me first.
Yep.
I'll focus on everything else first, and then I'll have more time to spend on me. But, at the end of the day, you're not having any more time spent on you. You haven't spent any time on you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I often think that when we allow those thoughts, we're coming from a place of being, even though we're not happy in the place that we are, we're happy in the place that we know. So, yeah, the place of change, so the place of doing something different can be quite overwhelming, fearful, daunting. And so therefore we stay as we are because we're scared. We've got that fear factor. And even though we might not really think that, because we've got all these other external excuses and reasons happening, it really does come down to those two things. It's easier to know what I know and stay where I am than to embrace making some type of change in my life. And what can happen then is that the body can start to really send you messages and say, well, hang on a minute, it's time for you to change. Now, you've had that experience with your lower back issues that you've just recently had.
Yes.
You know, I had, and I had that experience in my 40s when, you know, I was lethargic and I would have to have a nana nap, and I'd think, you know, this is just ridiculous. Why do I not have the energy that I normally have? Something is wrong here, but we couldn't work out what was wrong. And, you know, after me being insistent and, you know, having different tests and going back and forth to doctors, you know, they were probably all telling me that it was in my mind, but it turned out it wasn't in my mind. And had I have not let that, then I would have progressed to cervical cancer. So you know, the doctor said, you know, you were a month away from really being in some type of hot water here. And that was the fact that I did listen to that body, and I was very, very insistent. And so, but what can happen is the body can be sending us those ever so subtle messages, like just feeling lethargic. And what happens is that we don't listen to it. And so then what happens is the body just stops sending the signals. And then all of a sudden it can be something that is like a lot more serious than what it would have originally been had we have listened to it.
And then 6 months down the track, we're sitting there going, how did I get to this point in my life? And yes. You know perfectly well how you got to that point in your life because you didn't listen to what your body was sending you.
Yeah. I know that for, and I hope she doesn't mind, you know, one of your sisters, she recently had a situation. She's basically turned 50, and you know, then all of a sudden it's like she's starting to get some pain. Tell us that story. I mean, it's just it's quite humorous, really. It's serious, but it's humorous. Yeah,
it is, and it was just the fact that she. It got to that point where she recognized, okay, well, now I need to do something. So she wasn't feeling very well. And it was about 10 o'clock at night and she was laying on the couch and she said she felt really funny, went all clammy.
Yeah.
She had a bit of pain, I think she said, down her left arm. And she yelled out for her son. So her son's about 25. He sleeps downstairs and she yelled out for her son. And her husband's asleep, and her husband's a courier driver, so he gets up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So 10 o'clock at night, she's yelled out for her son, and he's come up, and she said, I just don't feel very well. You need to ring an ambulance. I think I might be having a heart attack. So she...
Yes. And she was.
She was. So he's rung the ambulance, and yes, ambulances showed up, and probably, I don't know how long later, about 10:30, she tells a story, and you're just like, how? Her poor husband's come out in his
matter
boxes.
of fact. She's very matter of fact, yeah.
Matter of fact. And her poor husband's come out in his boxes, surrounded to his wife laying on the floor in the lounge room. The ambulance working, the paramedics working on her. And her whole reasoning in all of it was, well, I didn't want to wake you in case it wasn't serious, and you have to get up early in the morning, you know. So that was thinking in that time, and you know, her poor husband's like, "What the?" He's standing there in his boxes. But yeah, they did end up taking her down to the PA hospital, which is one of the major cardiac hospitals where we are, and she had to have stents put in, you know, and she was and it was a big I wouldn't say an eye opener for her, but it was life changing for her, which has been wonderful.
Look, and at that point, like she could feel those warning signs, and deep down, you like, we know that if you're feeling clammy and there's a little bit of numbness in one side of your body, okay, it could be, I might be having a stroke or maybe I'm having a heart attack, but we know that, we are sort of aware of those things. So she was listening to her body and knew that it was something that needed to be addressed. So that was a good thing. There was probably warning signs before that, and we know that they were because we know that her blood pressure was high.
Yeah.
If you recall, yeah. So there were little signs. There were little signs along the way that her body was telling her, okay, we need to do something. We need to do something. We need to do something. So no, when those moments happen in our life, that's when we usually, flip the switch and we start to do something that is different because we are listening more.
And it's interesting because about 12 months ago, I was having chest pains, and within our family, my father had heart issues. His father, his mother both had heart issues. On my mum's side, her mum, her two brothers, and her sister. So all heart issues within our family. And so about 12 months ago, 18 months ago, I was having chest pains. But I ignored it for about 4 weeks. It'll go away. It'll go away. And it was that I rang Mum, and Mum's gone, no, you need to ring the 13 health number. And so I've rung the 13 health number, and they said, no, we need to get an ambulance to you straight away. And look, God bless, it wasn't a heart issue. It was an issue, a thing called costochondritis, where you have issues in your sternum with the muscles in your sternum, and all it was my doctor cracking me in the back and I was fine. But, I ignored that for like 4 weeks, for a month, and it wasn't until a month.
Yeah.
It was either a lot of denial, no, this isn't happening to me. And the other thing too was, and you know what I'm like, I don't want to bother anybody. Why would I want to go to school for this? I'm not going to ring an ambulance. They're just going to think it's ridiculous, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking, and I was saying that to the endos when they were here, and they're like, no, you have to. That's like a priority, chest pain's a priority type thing. But, thank goodness it wasn't anything serious, but it was the ignoring of it.
Are there any lessons there though, Sel? Do you think that, will you listen to your body more? I think with your back pain, you've probably acted sooner than later, which has been a good thing. Yeah.
Yes. And we've talked about this before, like, my family doesn't suffer from back pain. It's not, I've never suffered from back pain or anything like that. But to suffer from it and then realise how limited you are, One of our friends, she suffers from chronic back pain, and she's had 2 operations, and I just don't know. And she works in daycare, and I don't know how she gets through the day. Like, I would just quit my job, and and mine was just muscular, so I do not know how people get through their days with bad backs continuously, and that's what they have to live with in their life.
Yeah, that's right. And just coming back to the mind, I think a good practice, well, I know that a really good practice for all of us is to sit in silence, and and it only takes 5 minutes of a morning, is to just listen to the messages that are coming through, the messages in your mind, the messages in your body. Just take that moment to do that body scan and start at your toes and work your way up. Because I know this morning what happened was I decided to share a quick little meditation and I put it up in the Fit Flexes community this morning. I'm not sure whether anyone's done it, but it was just that quick 5-minute body scan. And it really does help you really isolate if there are any little niggles or any negative thoughts that are coming through in your mind as well too, where you can, as I keep saying, you flip that switch on it and go, okay, well, I can change this around and focus on something that is a little bit more positive, that is happening right now as well too. So, and I know that, like, in the world right now, it does feel so crazy. It's like there's just so many things happening with the negative speech coming through from various leaders in the world. There are situations where people are not being treated, right. We've got the pandemic that we're dealing with, and we've had so many deaths from it. And so all of those things, and we have been asked to go into isolation, which was something that was entirely different. We're used to having that free spirit and go here, go there. And all of those things combined can really play out and really help us, well, not so much help us, but really make us feel that things are just so crazy, and that we could focus on all of that negative information that we're hearing. But what we can do is that we have the ability within us to change that over so that we can think more positive. So there are things that we can do to change it. And I was listening to a book this morning, and it was talking about how someone was worried about, the amount of children that were going unfed in the world. And her response to this friend of hers said, do you contribute like $5 a week to those places that help feed children in the world? And she said, yes. And she said, you are being part of the solution. So what we can do as people is start to be part of the solution and do the right things, that we care about other people. And we only have to see that on the news. You were talking about AMBO officers before, and so many of them are copping abuse from people, and all they're doing is their job, and they're out there helping people.
Yes.
And all it takes within us is to take that deep breath and to be, to speak nicely about it, as opposed to, so we might be feeling a little bit of tension because we're in a situation where we're not feeling well, but we can still respect that other person.
Yes. And if you can be positive and be grateful and feel blessed for what you have in your life, and you can influence those friends and people around you to be blessed and grateful and of what they have in their life, and get them to start thinking positively. And then, you would like to think that that group of people are then going to go further out to their group of people and, their group of friends. And just be, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
And it does. It only takes that one person to stand up, and that, and then, that can influence someone else, and it can have that ripple effect on each and every one of us as well too. So, and I think that when we come at it from controlling our mind more, then we can be more comfortable in our body as well too. And so in our insiders this week, I've been thinking about the week's lesson that I wanted to provide to them. and I'm going to give them something that they're probably not going to really want to do. But, and so I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight into that, which is I want them to just stand in front of a mirror and just look at themselves. And I want them to start at the top and start to say positive things about their body all the way through, all the way down to their toes. And you can try that if you're listening here right now. Yep, go stand in front of the mirror and start to really appreciate what it is that you have in your body. And I was talking to a friend on Friday as well too, and her father-in-law, who's getting a little bit older, said, "Oh, just, you know, I'm not doing that anymore because, you know, that takes a bit more effort." And she has a challenged son, and she just turned around to him and said, you don't get to have that attitude, because you have a grandson here who would kill, absolutely give anything to have the body that you have, because he can't do those things. So you don't get to give up. You don't get to give up. You do get to keep doing those things because it's important. Yes. And I thought, yes, yeah, that's exactly right. There was no other word but yes.
No.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yes, it is. So any thoughts, final thoughts around listening to your body more, Sel?
I think we, going back to the brain, I think we need to, because it's so hard, not hard, but it's, we have these negative thoughts, and, we say, keep those positive thoughts happening, but then those negative thoughts come in, and so it's such a struggle in that mind, that I think sometimes, the first part to work on is your thoughts, is your brain, and to, as you said, flip the script in your head and keep all your thoughts positive. It's funny, yesterday, my daughter Livy plays soccer, and it was raining yesterday. And it was like, oh, please let it be cancelled. Please let it be cancelled. Please let it be. It wasn't cancelled. They weren't cancelling it because of the rain. And so I'm sitting there watching her playing, and I thought, you know what? I have to be positive for her, because I don't want her experience being, Mum didn't want to come to soccer to watch me play soccer, So it was then that, it was about being positive for her, and I was being positive about watching my daughter playing soccer and how well she's improved and all this sort of stuff. And so I had to flip the script and be positive, even in that tiny little moment of, a 1 hour game.
And Sel, that's coming from a place of love when you do that. So you love your daughter, and so you know that it's important to her to do that. And so you were coming from a place that was fearful of sitting in the rain, when, quite frankly, you've got a raincoat.
I know.
You got a raincoat, you got an umbrella. Oh, well, there you go.
Have to get out of the car.
So okay, so yeah, I can't even comprehend it. No. So it wasn't as if it was. No, there is not.
It was just going to that negative place. It's raining. I don't want to go out. Why can't they cancel? And then I thought, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm thinking, no, I can't be negative. And, especially when she was getting back in the car, I can't be saying, that was, I don't know why they made you play in that. You're going to be sick. I had to be, I wanted to be positive, because I didn't want her to have those memories of me being negative when she played.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think really, You're getting a brownie point for that.
I know, I'm being honest at least.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, our body can trick us a lot of the times too. It can, for example, be telling us that, we've got this little bit of something or other happening, and we may have done a workout, and that something or other that's happening is just muscle soreness. It's not an injury, and we go, oh no, I can't work out today because I've got this soreness, but it is muscle soreness. So, and that's where the mind can, jump in and go, well, hang on a minute, it is muscle soreness. It's what you're supposed to have. And so you know that when you have muscle soreness, you need to stretch, you need to keep moving. And so that muscle soreness will disappear a lot quicker if you keep moving and you keep stretching and you drink water, all of those things. And so it is just slow yourself down and go, oh, hang on a minute. Am I really telling myself a story here?
Yes.
Because we are very good at telling ourselves like really, really good stories. And, over the 15 years that we've worked with women, 15 for me anyway, 15 years with women in the health and fitness arena, I know that I've heard every excuse. And on the odd occasion, there's one that comes up that I think, oh, that was a good one. But they're not too often. And they usually fit into different categories. It's the time factor or the motivation factor. Yeah.
I do have to share one of our clients. And I often tell our ladies that we're going to write a book, 101 Excuses for Workout. Hello, I'm just going to
really? I haven't thought about that.
Hello, Idris. Thank you for joining us. I just thought I'd say hello.
Hello.
We're doing push-ups one day, and one of our clients had a ponytail in her hair, and so she's doing her, advanced push-ups. And I said to her, stop doing your chicken neck and putting your head down to the floor before your chest. And she told me that she does it because her ponytail's too heavy. Oh, and okay, you can believe whatever you want to believe. Her ponytail's too heavy. Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's an interesting one. I have a lot of hair. My ponytail doesn't get that heavy.
No. Any excuse whatsoever. But
probably
we do give them a gold star for at least trying to tell us what their reasons are.
Probably my response to that would have been, okay, well, your neck muscles are probably a little bit weak here. So here's some exercises you need to do for your neck muscles. So I often get told that there is no point giving me an excuse because I do have actually all the answers. So, or if I don't have the answers, I'm going to find one for you. So,
yeah. Exactly. There's always a solution.
Yeah, there is always a solution. And look, I honestly believe that sitting in silence for at least 5 minutes every single morning and just listening to what's coming into your head, how your body's feeling, and, just being thankful, as you said, grateful, appreciate the body that you have, appreciate the thoughts that you have, and allow yourself to really believe. I think that's the word I'm searching for this morning, is believe. Believe in yourself and believe that there is something that is out there that is taking us all towards where we want to be.
Yes, beautiful. Yep.
And that is our final thought for this morning. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for being here with me again, Sal.
You're very
sharing
welcome.
The stories.
Yes.
And some laughs as well too. And we are back on Monday, Wednesday and Friday with Talking Wellbeing TV at 5 p.m. And what are we talking about next week, Sal?
Don't know. Mind blank. It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Oh, dear. Even for us. Hang on a minute, everybody. Talk amongst yourselves. Well,
Ah.
I will look it up. You see, I have
How's
so many
everyone's
things that
Sunday
happen.
going?
Yeah, that's right. Talk
Having a
amongst
great
yourself.
Sunday?
Oh, yes. I know what it is. It's a favorite. Are you a challenge kind of girl?
That's right. As soon as you said it,
Yeah.
it's come up. Yes, yes. And I know what,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me too. Because we've got, drum roll, something exciting coming soon, but we're not quite ready to tell you yet. So
No.
we are just, no, we're really excited about it. And you get to do it free with us. So if you are someone who loves challenges, you really do need to tune in next week to find out what's going on.
Yes.
And I tell you what's also happened, Sel, so I'm pretty excited about this. We have lined up 2 different types of guest speakers as well too. So I am really, really excited about that. So, stay tuned with
Awesome.
us.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but we'll let you know what's happening as and when we book them in with our dates. So it's all happening on Talking Wellbeing TV. And remember that we share lots of new hints, tips and advice on a regular basis over in our free group, which is Women Over 50, Get Active and Healthy. And the link is here in the notes for you. So all you have to do is click on them and come over there and join us. And I know that there's quite a few. I noticed this morning there's quite a few sitting there waiting to come in. So, and we will get to that very, very soon.
We will. We will.
We will. Okay. So thanks, Sel, again, and thanks everyone for tuning in. And we will see you all on tomorrow. See you soon.
Bye.
See you, Sel.
Bye, Peter.
Bye. Bye. Bye.